Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing Irwin, baby Lisa Irwin, who went missing from, I believe it was Kansas City, Kansas, in 2011. So I had to look up the news report or something on the baby because I never heard of the case. And the first thing that came to me, which was a psychic impression, I did pull some cards and I looked at somebody else's reading. And the reason I'll explain why I did that. I do that from time to time when I get information that I want to make sure that it's not just me. You know what I mean? I just like to make sure that I'm not reaching. So I found somebody else that did a reading about 3 years ago on it, and she basically confirmed what I picked up. So the impression that I got is that somebody close to that family, to the parents, somebody that the parents trusted, was really playing them close. And basically what happened was there were people around them that conspired to have the baby taken. Now, the person that took the baby was a male, and he was paid to do it, but he was paid to do it because the baby was to be used as a sacrifice in a sacrifice ritual. Now, in that part of the country, Satanists are thick in that part of the country. I mean, they're everywhere, but they run thick. And no shade to Satanists, because not all Satanists do that. A lot of Satanists are nature and animal lovers and that sort of thing. So, I'm not going to group them all in together, but this specific type of, satanic practice where they do, if they can't get their hands on a newborn baby to sacrifice, they will take a toddler. And so somebody that was close to them was playing them close. And somebody that was real close to them that was connected to this. You had a lot of Satanists that, that use like Catholicism and Christianity as a front, a lot of them. And a lot of them did it for years before like they really started coming out, like they came out with the Church of Satan. But, they really started like doing stuff like publicly. A lot of them were hiding behind like Abrahamic religion, or using it as a cover. So I say that to say that there's so many people that are involved in it, and bloodletting and blood worship and these kinds of things that you would never know about. And whoever was around them, this person was a female that was around them, that was close to them, that that basically put her coven on to this child, or she was the one that made it, that put the baby on the map for this child, for this coven, but or this particular group. But the guy that took was a young person between like 20 and 30 years old, right? That took the baby. He was paid to do it for that purpose. I did not get anything about an adoption or about the baby being sold to another family. I got that the baby was, they took the baby because, and the baby is beautiful. The baby is she was absolutely beautiful, and they wanted her energy. You could see, like, when you look at her, you can see she's got an energy, like she's got this beautiful energy. And I think that's also why she was targeted. Somebody saw something in her, they wanted her energy. Like, a lot of these groups are about like parasitic, their nature is parasitic. So if they wanted the baby because she was shining, she's a shiner, and her vibration is high, and that little girl was like, she had some beautiful, like, powerful, lightful energy in her. And let me know in the comments if you feel the same way when you see her, when you see a picture of her. But a lot of these groups are parasitic, and they just want to consume. They're all about feeding off of or consuming something or somebody else. But that's what I got, that she was taken and for that purpose, and that's how she met her demise. So I got the cards here, so let's go through the cards. All right, so he said victim of serial killer, All right. And you can make that assertion with someone who steals children because they're participating in their death. This would have been a ritualistic killing. I was murdered. I was set up by somebody I trusted, and that would be the parents. I mean, essentially the baby too, because this person interacted with the baby. It says, my death was an accident. And I'll explain that a little more. My parents. And gender-based. So I believe that they wanted her because she was a female child. That's that maiden energy. I spoke about that before with the Austin ice cream parlor murders, and how that's ritualistic, how they like to go after virgins or female children. All right, so my death was an accident. I actually forgot the point that I was going to make with that. But I totally forgot it. All right, so the reason I looked at a couple of readings, and I do this from time to time, like I said, when I feel like the information might be a reach, because a lot of the cases I end up doing, some of them are so far from the narrative, from the media narrative, and I shouldn't be questioning myself, because it always ends up being on point, but sometimes I end up questioning myself. So I just wanted to see if anybody else picked up the satanic or the sacrifice element. And there was another person that was pulling cards about 3 years ago. And that person hasn't made a video in like 2 or 3 years, but I have the video saved in my watch later, and at some point I'll pin it in either the description or down in the comments, so you guys can see that yourself. So again, this reading was requested, and oh yeah, okay, so the point about my death was an accident with the parents. Some people think that the mother got drunk and did something to the baby accidentally. But I think the accident was that the mother trusted, like they trusted whoever this was, they trusted this person, and had the mother, maybe if the mother, was not drinking or whatever, maybe, that's something she may have been able to pick up about, the individual that was around and at the house and coming to the house and stuff. So I think it was avoidable. It was absolutely avoidable, but whoever she was hanging with knew that she was reckless. She was reckless with herself. The doors were left open. The cell phones were missing, probably because whoever took the baby didn't want to risk, an emergency call being made. So that person took the phones, the lights were on, the doors were open or unlocked, and it's just like, you put yourself in these predicaments. You can't trust anybody with your kids. You got to be careful who you're letting in your house. I don't think the mother did anything. I don't think the parents were involved. There was somebody that was playing them close, that was close to them, hanging out with them, coming over to the house. This was a female, and she is down. She's a Satanist. She's one of these people, and she's the one that plugged in her group the baby. She's the one that put them onto the baby, and then they got somebody else. They paid this kid to go in and take the baby. But I got that hardcore that this was about a sacrifice. For whatever reason, they could not get a newborn, and some of these groups are very specific in the children that they want. All right, maybe they couldn't find a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, newborn, to do this thing, and so they went for a toddler. It can't be easy to find, newborn Anglo-Saxon babies to do these terrible things to. So, and that's where you get into, as well as, you know, these teenage girls being abducted and held in basements and things like that. And then there's this whole thing with, you know, people being these children being impregnated, or these young girls being impregnated, held against their will. They're having babies, and then the babies are taken away from them for this purpose. That's part of that's part of, you know, these things that are happening, is they're breeding children that are unregistered, undocumented, and they're being used in sacrifices, or they're being used for other horrific things. And so, so yeah, it can't be easy to find what they were looking for. So I believe that that's the other reason why the baby was targeted, because they, you know, you're not going to be able to find, you know, if you're looking for a specific background, ethnic background, that's very specific like that, that would have to be very hard to come by. So I believe that that's what it is, that's what came to me, like hardcore. Okay. So, thanks for requesting this, to the person that did, and feel free to request any more, challenging cases that are really like, that leave you, you know, dumbfounded. Because like I said, a lot of these cases, sometimes they're really far removed. They're really far removed from the media narrative. And a lot of times there's so much more meat and potatoes to it than, you know, what we think we understand the case to be when it's read in the media. So again, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.